just a little disclaimer here. There are some harsh word usages, so if that's not really for you, just a heads up. And another thing is, we're fully aware, in retrospect, that you do not gain glory, and we use that a lot to explain a lot of things. But any numeral object that you're receiving would still apply to where we say glory.
Bitches.
Hey guys, this is Ultimus here. I'm back, and I'm going to go over another review of the PvP rewarding system in Guild Wars 2. I'm going to go over it a little more thoroughly this time. I have a plan for this video as opposed to the last one, which was a little more just of a rant. So we're going to go over three things in this video. We're going to go over my thorough thoughts along with Let and Death. I got him here with me. We're going to do the video.
What's up?
We're going to go over our thorough thoughts of the issues with the PvP rewarding system in Guild Wars, and then we're going to go over our suggestions for that, and then we're going to go over some of the comments that were on the last video. So I hope you guys enjoy that.
Alright guys, so our first discussion on the list is some of the current game issues, or some things that we view as issues. And I think it's important that we get this sort of disclaimer out here that this is a lot of our opinions. It's our concerns with the game. There might be some content that we're not aware about, or some parts of the game that we haven't fully explored. And I'll be honest, Alt and I, we really didn't do a lot of world versus world. We did a lot of instance PvP, and we went through some of the dynamic events in the PvE just to kind of get an idea for what was going on. And you can see that in a lot of our videos. We didn't do a lot of it, but we have a lot of experience from previous games that are highly, or supposedly highly oriented PvP games. And so we're going to go into some of those issues that we've ran into there, and we might possibly be able to forecast for this game if things aren't done right. And our first concern is one of the biggest Zerg intensive aspects is BO training. And Alt, if you could explain BO training.
Basically what BO training is, we saw this in Warhammer Online in the beginning and even in the end. What people are doing, they're getting up in big groups, they're getting Zergs together, and they run through a zone, they capture all the objectives, and then they just jump. They would jump to the next zone, capture all the objectives, and then, you know, if that was Order doing that, Destruction would just kind of follow them, and they just kind of follow each other and go in circles, and just take after take after take after take. And the problem with this is there's just an utter lack of PvP when this is happening.
No conflict, none.
Yeah,
they don't. When you just drop a keep, and the thing is, they're looking at the rewards and they're looking at the efficiency. Destruction, and there being two factions was a big issue, and I know a lot of people might get into that, like, oh well, it's two factions, so you could easily cooperate, and you know they could just be like, okay, well we're going to do this, this, and this, and we're going to avoid all conflict, and that's very viable. The thing is, it was more efficient. You could just BO train, and you could go from objective to keep to objective to objective to keep, and you would get more points, renown, as it was in that game instead of glory. You get more renown from capturing those instead of actually running into conflicts and defending and with an assault on a keep. So that's something like that could be a serious concern, because you have a lot more objectives, you have a lot more area to cover, and you can form huge Zergs. So what the issue is for all this is we want to make sure that everything's properly rewarded. We want a certain level of scalability for rewards for the defense versus player kills.
Yeah.
So
that's where we stand on most of the game issues so far. Alright, next up we're going to go over some of our suggestions to maybe not so much cure all the problems, but hopefully reduce a lot of the issues that we foresaw in previous games. And the first thing we want to do to add to Guild Wars is we want to add rewards for player kills. And that's not to say that we want to add only rewards for player kills. That's very different from adding rewards for player kills. We want to see a scalable and a decent and a balanced reward for player kills, and we realize that's going to take a lot of testing.
One of our suggested ideas, and whether or not it's implemented or not, because once again, we didn't do a lot of world versus world. So, as a disclaimer, we don't know that. And yes, of course, there's going to be flaws in some of our ideas and our concepts, but just hear us out. So, one of our first kind of like ideas, and we'll keep referencing back to war here, is that the Damaz Kron, for a lot of you who don't know what war was or what Damaz Kron was, it was an add-on for the game that allowed you to keep track of players you've killed, players that have killed you, classes you've killed, and that sort of concept, sort of like a personal ranking system. And now we're aware that you can't have you won't have names or personalized kills from other people, because in World vs. World, you're it's just the the guild name, is that right?
Yeah, the guild name.
Yeah, just the guild name. So, well, and that's fine, because that works as well. You can, like, oh well, I hate this guild. It's a kill on sight guild. Like, that's like I've been mopping the floor with those guys from that guild. They're pretty weak. So our idea is to implement that sort of the Maz Kron idea. And I know, like oh god, IP or whatever, but you know, it's a ranking system. Every game should have, that's PvP based, should have a ranking system.
Also, something you could do with that is something like, oh, I tend to do really well against elementalists or really well against a certain class. Maybe I should be focusing on other classes, or maybe I should work on my game against other classes and see if I can increase my personal skills by upping my kill death against elementalists, or like I said, against warriors or thieves. And that would be something that would help you, and you know, there wouldn't be really a negative to that.
No. And in the long run, I mean, you wouldn't be able to, like, actually kind of focus. You couldn't be like, okay, well, I need to kill a certain class, but it gives you an idea of what you're weak against and what you're strong against. Because you're not going to be like, okay, well, I need to kill more elementalists. But you're not going to be able to just go out into a crowd and like, okay, where's the elementalist? I can't find the elementalist.
Of course.
But it's going to give you an idea, like, okay, we have an elementalist here. Let me handle it. So, and that's just kind of like a benefit for Damaz Kron, or like the Damaz Kron idea.
Yeah.
And it also, like, and I'm not sure about this, but it also kind of gives you the idea of, like, what your level of contribution is to World vs. World. You don't know if, like, in essence, if you've actually contributed a lot to, like, your realm pride, so to speak. You want to be able to, like, to have something. I know it's virtual, but we'll say tangible in this instance. You want something that's kind of tangible that proves, like, well, this is what I do for my realm, and this sort of entity, this ranking system, would display that. So our next one we're going to go into for suggestions is PK rewards increased for defense of objectives, keeps, and that sort of thing.
What we think, if you reward players for player killing, it's going to be easier to get a kill if you're defending a keep. It's a lot easier to get a kill when you're sitting on top of a wall and you can drop back, and then all of a sudden you can't get attacked. You're out of line of sight.
Gonna shoot these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be up top, and I'm gonna be raining hell down on you.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot easier to get kills that way. So giving a reward for player kills is going to increase the chance that people want to defend, because it's going to increase the amount of glory that they will get from player kills. They're going to be killing a lot of players on defense. This goes into an issue where you might say, oh, well, then what's going to be the benefit to attacking? Well, the bonus for attacking is if you're attacking a highly defended keep, you're going to get more reward, you're going to get more glory for the capture of that keep.
Not only defended, but upgraded as well. And just before we go any further, what's the benefit of attacking a defended keep? Let me help you figure this out real quick. You're taking the keep. You not only get rewards for taking it, but it's your keep now. You are contributing to the world versus world combat. I don't think I should have to spell it out how important that is. That you are creating an outpost for your realm. I mean, oh my goodness, people just don't. Attacking is essential. It's the part of the game. It's attacking keep. It's combat. That's the player versus player. And granted, if there's not players there, I mean, it turns into PvE because you're just attacking a keep. But you know, you're gonna take that keep and you're gonna want to defend it. That's your keep now. That's the reward.
Yeah. I just figured I'd throw that in there because, you know, someone's going to come back with a comment. And,
yeah.
You know.
But yeah, so we thought it'd be, and like we said, we don't know if these IDs are in the game already, but we want people to receive the amount of rewards for their level of contribution of attacking or defending a keep. And one of the ideas was the supply, right?
The yak runs.
Yeah. You got these guys escorting yaks. You got 16 motherfuckers escorting this yak, and it's carrying supplies for a keep. All right, and your guild leader's like, hey,
you know, hey, you 20 guys, we want you to leave the keep defense, or the keep attack, and we want you to go take care of that supply.
And these, if some of you guys don't know, these are called roaming groups. These roamers, they aren't going to get a lot of contribution to that keep take. Granted, you know, within the community, they'll be like, oh, these dudes are great roamers, and they take care of all the odd jobs and weird things that nobody else wants to do. But sorry, that was my phone. But but yeah, like they don't want to do these odd jobs. Well,
they're not as rewarding right now.
Yeah, they're not going to be as rewarding, and that's a problem because people want to be rewarded for everything, and they want to be recognized for their level of contribution. So we want to make sure that that's glory,
scalable, that's scale, and it's going to be scalable because you're with getting the reward for player kills. You go out. There's 16 people escorting this supply yak. Well, guess what? You get glory for killing the yak, right? You get glory for killing the players, and then you can run back to the keep attack afterwards, and then get your ticks for that and your contribution for that. So, you know, we just want everyone to be equally rewarded and as balanced the way as possible, and we think adding rewards for kills will do that. And like we said, we don't want it to be, it shouldn't be greater than when you're attacking keep or greater than when you're defending keep. You don't want one kill to be worth half of a keep take. That would be ridiculous. You just want that in there so that you get a reward for roaming groups. Anyone who played DAOC will understand this. How awesome was it to take your 8-man group and go roaming around with your speed buffs and whatnot and run into a group of 20 people and just wipe them?
Fucking Bard Mez, man. Fucking Mez, man.
It was awesome, and it was so gratifying for yourself, and it was gratifying for your character. Your character got rewarded for that, and you got that feeling of reward, and it was awesome. But yeah, those are our suggestions. So we're gonna move on to our next thing here, which is the comments.
All right. So our first comment is from Mythix, and he says, I doubt trading would be viable. World PvP is a 3-way FFA, free-for-all, with other servers with over 100 people per world. Even if you could get a handful of big guilds on 2 servers to agree to this, the non-organized players may not agree with it, or not care, and a 3rd server adds to the fray. They may just want to mess everything up because they can. World PvP already offers rewards in the form of XP, karma, and loot, as well as the power of the mist buff to the winning server.
Alright, so our problem with this comment is that these people aren't agreeing. They're just all in their realization of the quickest way to get something done and the quickest way to get a reward. That being said, you know, it really takes, it's not 2 guilds on a server saying, hey, let's team up, let's trade these 2 keeps. It's people saying, we can defend our keep and get X amount of reward for that, or we could go take 2 keeps and get twice the reward. It's really, I mean, it's a no-brainer. You want the reward as fast as possible, what are you going to do?
And it's not so much, not even a no. Well, actually, that's literally it. It is a no-brainer. That's human nature. We want all the rewards. We want a maximum amount of rewards in the smallest amount of time as possible. And you know what? It's happened before, and it'll happen again if the shit ain't fixed.
It's happened in like in the comments of the previous video. We said it's happened in War. There's been people who said it happened in SWTOR. I didn't play that game, so I can't comment on that.
Gay.
And there's been people that said it happened in WoW Cataclysm, and I didn't play that, so I can't comment on that. But that's what people are saying, and if it's happened, you can't just say it's not going to happen in this. I mean,
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen if it's not fixed.
Look, it's going to happen.
Next comment comes in from Roko Choco, and he says, plus, you get XP per kill in WVW.
Look, dude, we've already assumed that everybody's 80 at this point, and nobody gives a fuck about XP. Next comment. Next comment is from Mr. Joni H94. First off, spelled your name wrong, dude. But anyway, John says, basically, you want it to become like COD's Domination, where 99% of the players just run around mindlessly killing each other and ignoring the objectives. Yeah, how about no? If you want to play an MMO where you can just ignore the objectives and mindlessly kill players with no consequences, go play AV or IOC and WoW. I'm sorry, I don't play WoW and I don't know the acronyms, so fuck that shit.
Yeah, no, we don't want people running around mindlessly, obviously. What we do want is rewards for roamers We want people to be rewarded for multiple different types of play. And we think this is one way to do it. It might not be the only way to do it. And it might be slightly flawed, some of our suggestions. But, you know, this is what we would like to see as avid PvP gamers and as people who've been PvPing a long time. It's what we want to see, and we want to see proper rewards for proper contribution. We want to see rewards for those odd jobs, the supply runs and killing the people doing supply runs. We want to see rewards for roaming and defense and just everything. We want balanced rewards for all the jobs in WVW.
But he did say something that we wanted. We want people killing people.
We do want people killing people.
If you're not killing people,
you're not doing PvP. Next comment comes in from Ilglyphia, and what they say is the main point I'd expose for why what you're saying is not going to happen is that the rewards are cosmetic. You don't get better gear. You won't have an easier time in PvP thanks to Glory. You're just going to look better. Because of that, the amount of players who will actually take the time to think, how do I grind for this thing, will be seriously reduced.
So what you're saying is...
What you're saying
is...
people aren't going to want the rewards as fast as possible. I can't wrap my mind around this. I'm sorry. Every MMO that I've ever played, and maybe it's just my personality, I want to be the best. And if there's a way that I can show, oh, hey, look, he's the first person to get that high-end gear.
And he has no handicapped or no skill benefit. It's just simply cosmetic.
Doesn't matter.
That's like 100% visual
badassery.
Yeah. Oh. You shut the fuck up.
I've never seen that guy's gear before. He must be good, or he must have done a lot of work or played a lot. You know, You're all that I can really say is that I don't agree with your point. So, yeah.
Our next comment comes from Omarati. I think that's how you say it. If we had to focus killing players for points in WVW, then there wouldn't be any focus on maintaining control points. We'd eventually be encouraged to camp the enemy players' spawn points and farm, aka Ilum and Sotor. I never played that gay game. However, we still get rewarded for killing players in WVW with tokens that we can use for cosmetic WVW armor.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's the thing. Let's say that you're green team, right? And you're camping blue team.
Just whooping the shit out of them.
Just camping them. And we saw this in the DAOC battlegrounds. You get those battlegrounds in there. One team's camping the other. What's going to happen if you're green team camping blue team? Red team's going to say, hey, awful lot of green players over there camping that blue base.
Right by that spawn where them guards might be. I don't know.
They're gonna come up right behind you. They're gonna push you into blue, and you're gonna get demolished by either the blue people's guards, the blue people, or a mix between the blue people and the red people. Unless you can take both teams at the same time, if you got that kind of manpower at the base for some reason, for some odd reason, you got that kind of manpower. I don't foresee it.
Yeah. And another point I'd like to make about this is that you got red and green going at it. Red's camping green. Well, what do you think blue's going to do if red's not concerned with the rest of the realm? Well, they're going to go out and capture all of red's shit. And then what? Red's going to be forced to disperse or give up their entire strategic battle points. That's kind of their call. But in the end, you know what? If I can camp you,
I'm going to do it.
I'm going to camp you.
Next comment comes in from Dyron45. What Dyron says is, you make a good point, but if you make player kills more valuable than capturing objectives, you run the risk of trade-off kills, or just mass PvP and no one caring about objectives. I think they assume that people will PvP just for the sake of PvP, not huge reward system is needed. I would like them to be, but making sure that the reward system is in place for good WW is more important.
Man.
Here's the thing. A lot of people commented on the player kills thing.
Can we just let them know? This is a lot of people bitching about this, and we're gonna make it pretty clear, pretty concise why it isn't viable. So if you could.
All right. Here's the thing. If you want to make another account on another server, that means you're gonna have to buy another game. Fuck. Congratulations, ANET, you just sold another copy of your game.
Because of a dumbass.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. The servers are constantly switching around, and you can only have one server per account.
I mean, I know it right now, but I'm doing a circle motion with my hand. They are rotating servers.
So what you're going to have to do, you're not only going to have to pay for 2 accounts, but you're going to have to pay 1 account to switch servers every week. If you want to throw ANET your money that bad for some glory, be my guest.
You know what? You deserve it.
Because like someone else said, it's cosmetic rewards.
I guess it's not important. I don't know.
But if you want to throw your money at ANET and trade off kills with your own, if maybe you know someone on the other server, and you're going to meet up and say, hey, let's trade kills. Here's the thing about that. You have to run across the WVW map, and if you don't get killed running across the WVW map by yourself, congratulations, you made it through. But then one person's gonna have to say, okay, you get the first kill. All right, you killed. Now the other person's got to run back. Once again, if he makes it back, he gets a kill. You're not really, for the amount of time you're spending.
That doesn't sound very efficient.
It's not efficient at all.
Doesn't sound like it. Not to me. I don't think I want to do that. I think I could play 1 instance
and get 2 or 3 times as much.
Probably. Man.
It's not very smart.
You know, I know it's kind of late on the suggestion thing, but we kind of slipped this one a little bit. And it was more towards, because there were so many comments heading towards the idea of trading kills, is that we kind of wanted this idea of this, I don't know, it was more me, all just kind of like riddle, I don't know. But the suggestion of buffs. You remember when I was talking about the buffs? Like,
oh, yeah.
The kill-death ratio. If you get X amount of kills, you're going to be worth more glory.
You saw that in Dayak with the RP. If you were out doing a lot of stuff and earning a lot of renown points per death, you were worth more renown points.
And if you were dying a lot, you received a debuff, and then you were worth less. Well, you weren't worth less. You didn't receive a debuff. You weren't worth as much as you could.
These are buffs and debuffs in terms of like actual buffs and debuffs, more of like a game mechanic where you could make them worth more or less.
Sort of like an implemented ladder system that's kind of, I guess, like not viewable. I guess
not viewable. Like I said, Dayak had it. Guild Wars could probably do it. So it's something we think is viable. It would help stop player kills that you guys all seem to think is going to happen and think is viable, but it really, it's not viable.
Hey man, you got about an hour on your hands that we can go make about 20 glory points.
Yeah,
that's how much I wanted.
50 glory points. Yeah, I don't
know. All right. Sounds good.
That's all we really have to say about the subject. We hope we covered it a little better than the last video. Like I said, last video was really just a rant. This video is way better organized, and we kind of laid our ideas out a little better. But I'd like to give a shout out to USAF Assassin for sharing our vid and thinking that it was pretty good points that we made. But hopefully you guys will like this one a little bit better. It's a lot, like I said, a lot more organized. There's
2 of us.
There's 2 of us.
Yeah. Two brains combined making videos and content for you guys.
Yeah, so if you like the video, subscribe. We're going to be blowing out content.
As much as we can.
Yeah.
Almost every day. Something new for you guys.
Yeah, fitness and gaming related. So,
this is Let.
And Ultimus.
And thanks for watching and listening to another episode of NO2 Gaming.